All right, here we go. Ready for some overpass.
Yes.
Overpass. What do we got? Overpass. We got a decoy on Classy, and that's the entirety of the utility for either side in this round. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Overpass is not typically the map I would expect full no-nade execs, but let's see how this goes. Oh, wow, marks pretty well. All right, Hate.
Okay.
Finds the first, immediately realizes what that has to mean for the second on the setup, and that's been red. So it's all going to be about Classy here. And they're actually not going to go up just yet. They want to fight in towards construction water, so Tender's going to be tested. And he is going to get the first. Problem is, set up for the second. No, they've really left people in isolated fights, and this is the problem with having no utility or control. It's all just about the duels. So, Classy in a 1v3, as this one has played out pretty nicely to Mythic's advantage.
Yeah. Classy a chance to show us his star power here in his first match with Vendetta. And he's not really...
Is this Classy's first match with Vendetta?
Excuse me. Sorry. You're right. I'm wrong. It's Chop's first match. Too many C's, Mike. Too many C's.
Too many C's. Other C, formerly of VG
match.
Black.
Yes. Got crossed up there, but we're clear now.
Classy is fifth, I think, as part of this squad. Competing probably in other events too.
Okay, you're talking about other events too. Yeah, in Challenger League, it's his third map of play.
There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, they ran a Cash Cup.
That's right. And they also lost MIBR in a Cash Cup recently, right?
That sounds like something that could have happened.
They did. It was
16-11.
That's right.
Ripperoni. Well, I mean, that was an interesting pistol round purely because I think Vendetta put themselves in really awkward fights for USPs, right? I mean, none of those fights used the advantage of the USP at range. They were all tight up angles. You have the two players in connector trying to run a crossfire. You just straight lose those duels to a Glock. And then you have two players playing tight to the door outside of connector, where again, you don't get to flex any of the advantages of actually playing as a CT on a pistol round.
Yeah, they really put themselves in a bad position. There's no question. Hate got a chance to shine once more. A 3K there. He has been the bright spot for Mythic, the only player with a positive kill-to-death differential this season coming into this match with +1 and an 81.7 ADR. So the one doing the most damage on this squad, too. Hate, speaking of, he's going to be by his lonesome towards that B site. And the rest of Mythic look like they're favoring A for the time being. Vendetta has forced up here. Consi is going to be jumping around towards long with that scout, just trying to spot out some info, but both teams at a bit of a standstill here after the first 40 or so seconds have expired in this round.
Ooh. Flom tagged up. Kills coming through. Flom gonna get the first. It's looking dangerous with the scout there at range, but Consti couldn't connect the second shot, so now 40 seconds about to hit the clock, and they are going to come hurtling on in. Two players here. Rotation hasn't happened just yet, but Classy will strike first. Traded. Ooh. Nice use of the dig. The body shot was enough, but they're still going to lose control of the site, and this is going to be a really tough retake. They've got a bit of utility for it, but no flashes means getting through these chokes. That's a tough ask. Chop does have a kit, so if they get that initial toehold, it could get weird, John.
Will it even get to that point, though? Because, you know, the armor, the smoke, it's valuable. You know, they think they have a chance, so they're going to go for it. Freakazoid says, well, this time you don't, unless Tender's going to get a headshot onto him, which he does. The thing is, the bomb's going to explode. Tender will likely just fall back and save the deagle and the smoke. He's not. For this? All right, he doesn't save anything and he dies, Mike, for nothing. Cooper gets the 2K, and Mythic are going to get a second round on the board. I just expected a little more prudence, honestly, given the fact that they had fully invested, fully forced up those deagles, that util, a couple of smokes. They could have been really valuable coming into this next round. Instead, they go for a hero play against, well, you know, superior weaponry, and the result was as you would expect.
Yeah. Not massively inspired by what we've seen from Vendetta, but it's only been 2 rounds. Let's see. Pluto with the dig. Gonna get naded to oblivion. Oh, Flom! Flom!
He's
Gets a little lucky there. Bailed out by Freakazoid. Fortunately, that's why you have teammates close at hand. here comes the hurtin'. You got Consti with a USP. And they're rotating. All right, Consti's actually going to hear a lot of this. Maybe you can set up the Deke and the 5-7 to do something. You got the 5-7 outside of Con. That's going to set up armor as well. Classy has come up with a Deke. Losing numbers. It basically need Classy to hit some nutty Deke shots if this round's going to be in any doubt.
Yeah,
Kinda,
I think...
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Mike. No, I was just going to say another thing to consider for Vendetta is how Chop is going to fit in, how long it's going to take for him to learn their style, learn everything, you know, and fill the role that Momo was previously taking.
I'm weirdly not too worried about Chop. He also comes from a team that actually likes to play Overpass quite a bit. Remember that, I mean, that EG Black roster dated back to their days pre-EG. They used to play a lot of Overpass.
Yeah, it was their bread and butter for a very, very long time.
So, if anything, I think he might give them an asset in that regard. Maybe if he's like, I'm not exactly sure how the calling works on this team in general, but if he's a secondary voice in towards the site, that's something that they could definitely use him for.
For sure. I mean, we're still very early on in this one. So a lot of time for Vendetta to pick up the pieces here, but Mythic have done a good job kicking things off, and now they will have the 3-0 lead as Flom gets himself a 4th frag on the match. 2K in the round. Speaking of Flom, I think he wasn't feeling well in their last series, that BO3, but he ended up being the top frag at 43 and 43 with an 87.3 ADR. So perhaps him not feeling well was affecting his calling a little more than it was his fragging, because yeah, he was doing well.
I mean, it's always encouraging when Flom gets the juices flowing early on, right? We've had sometimes he's been a little up or down in some of their matches.
Yeah.
But if he's hitting early, that's very encouraging as we move forward, right? Especially when you look at some of the firepower bastions like Cooper. He's hitting. It's what you want if you're a Mythic fan.
Yeah, like, speaking of Cooper, he's their impact player. He has been season after season. He leads the way once more at a 1.05 impact rating.
Flom racing down. They've cleared Con. They've got the space. They got the toehold towards A. You just got Pluto playing forward. Consti's not really playing with him. I guess they're trying to play passive out towards long. Got utility on either of these players anymore. There's a single flashbang for Consti to maybe set up Pluto for a peek, but once that's gone, I mean, there's nothing to stall. There's no mollies. No smokes. Here's that peek. They'll realize it's clear. Chop was floating up top, but he's got to go back down, right? They just spotted. They've just gone for the spot and seen no one outside of bathrooms. Now the hit comes through, and they're not in position. Both players swiped away, and Chop is backed into graffiti, and he's going to be pushed off by a flashbang. Can't deny this bomb plant. Can't do anything about it. Can't help his teammates out. I don't know, man. This one should be a ripcord pull. This should be a save.
Yeah, you have to. Wow. What a take there into Monster by Mythic. Flom with the MAC-10 carried over from the previous round. And he's going from... Why not, right? I mean, you're carrying over that MAC-10 round after round. Try and get some more frags. Consti will finally end him with a wall bang from the AWP. But that's information gained for Mythic, and I think they're going to keep chasing. They have to.
Why not? I mean, it's a bonus round, right? You've made so much money. You look at the bank they've got 5K or more on 3 players. You're going to be fine to buy regardless here. You know, any gun you take out of their hands is going to be precious. It's going to be dear to them. Here comes the hurt. Here comes the shot. One low. Freak gets 1-2.
Oh,
not
no.
quite the third. At least Chop lives, but that is a bitter pill to swallow here for Vendetta.
Not to mention Freak builds up his economy even more with 2 more SMG frags. Flom as well. I mean, the money is flowing here for Mythic. They made that one look really easy to get a 4th, and they break the economy of Vendetta again. So Vendetta saved only 1 rifle out of that previous round. That was Chop with the A4, and he's going to hang on to that. See if he can make more of an impact onto this round, as they're going to favor the B site quite heavily. Our Vendetta, 3 players on the site proper, 1 into connector, leaving only Consti to fend for himself on A should Mythic go there, and it doesn't appear to... They don't appear to have decided where they're going to hit just yet, Mike.
I don't mind this. Problem is if Hate catches a whiff of it. Reaction time. Pluto getting a kill. That's nice. Immediately wandering in twice is less nice, but you know, it happens. 1 for 1's not awful there. They've gone off of the boost. They've abandoned that, so no chance to find Hate. It's just Holding court, and we'll find one of his own.
Ah, he's such a good lurk.
Effective in it there, for sure. Ball will need to be retrieved at some point, but with a minute still on the clock, Mythic aren't really feeling the pinch just yet. Seems like they're expecting a response. I do have to say, early days. I haven't really seen a lot of dynamic play from Vendetta. I mean, they went for the boost on sandbags in that round, but we had it in pistol round. We had control of construction, right? But we haven't really had that. And over towards A, it's been very vanilla. Very far back as well. They've given Mythic a lot of room to rumble. This round, they put someone in connector. That's at least something. But that was very isolated. There wasn't someone playing off of him, right? It was just, let's see if Pluto can kill somebody. So, this next gun round, I think, is going to be very telling, John.
Yes, there's no question.
Shops go on. If they can get it here. Nope, no, they cannot.
Well, I mean, as you would expect with just the pistols up, but great work from Mythic across the board. Mechanically, they have been solid to kick things off, and that's the important piece for Mythic. They do have that firepower. We talked about it, the pro experience, the young guns are maybe not as young anymore, with Twice along with Hate. And yeah, they're looking good. 5-0 to kick things off, and match going to be paused for Vendetta to talk things over. You have to imagine, because like you said, Mike, this next gun round will be very telling, not only for Vendetta, but for Mythic, to see if Mythic can take control of this one and just run away with Overpass. Going to be interesting, Mike.
Yeah, what's the secret here? What's the secret, John? What's the
Yeah.
secret sauce that they go for?
I
I'm
think
just going to go make sure this is, in fact... Oh, no, it's a Mythic technical pause.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, would have thought this was Vendetta talking over the rifle round, but no, it's a Mythic technical pause. Should be undone very quickly, though, folks, so we're not going to be waiting here forever. Look, we haven't seen Conti do much yet. He had that one round with the scout tag, but otherwise it's been a little limp. So try and feature that up. Get it activated, right? Go for a long peek, something a little more aggressive. Set up the fight towards fountain, something, anything, so that you're not just giving them bathrooms control for free. That's what I'd love to see. You could go for the fast connector dive. What's the spawn he's got for it? He has a pretty good spawn for the op peak, too. So,
yeah, I mean...
let's get frisky.
You talked about it before as well, Matt. They've been really shy about going aggressive and getting that map control on their CT side. It's important on Overpass because it's such a huge map. You've got to get into the face of the T's a lot of the time in order to get the advantage. You can't play a vanilla style or vanilla defense where you're just holding again and again and again. You need to go up, and here they go. Pluto is going to have a peek along with Consti.
The Chop just comes out to throw some... I think he threw the deep... construction control Molotov, but there were T-side mollies as well, so we can have that flashbang, and Conti's just left alone. If you're gonna go for that aggro peak, why not have Pluto play with him, right? So you can at least set it up or try and bail him out.
It felt like he was going to, then he backed off into bathrooms.
There's just a lot of disjointedness in the way these two players are playing. They're not really together. Pluto does get the trade back, so that's nice. That is well found. And at this point, he has Chop playing with him. They're going to take control along together. Well, they were. Now Pluto's out tree alone. It works. But there was no fallback if that was a double peak.
That was a weird play on both sides. Flom just peeking by himself, and yeah, and Pluto on the other end didn't really have support when he went for his fight.
Ooh, here we go. Twice. Crab walking through the angle. Taking down Tender. Goodbye. It just feels like we're getting the one-for-one duel fest. This entire round, it's just been like, I take a fight, now you take a fight. I take a fight, now you take a fight. Are we on a teeter-totter, John?
Feels like it. Oh boy, and now 25 seconds left on the clock. Mythic have to go for a play, and it's going to be tough to get into this site with Chop watching over the wall. It's going to be the last place that Cooper is going to clear here as he's coming around for a monster. So he should be ripe for the taking, but no! Chop can't hit the shot, so he has to fall off, and Hate knows exactly where to hold here. Smoke gonna come out, the util is good. Plant comes through, and Hate gets the frag on the Pluto. All of a sudden, it's an HP advantage for Mythic, but very short-lived because Hate goes down to 11, but he turns the favor. Cooper will go down to Classy, and now it's a 2v1 for Vendetta, but Hate's positioning isn't that bad, and he's gonna peek around, get one, make it a 1v1, but he can't get the last one onto Chop, and Mythic will finally fall here. But man, that was a messy retake.
A messy round in general. I don't think there's a single... there are players who wound up with 2 kills, but everything was like a one-on-one peak. From both sides. From both sides. It's a very disjointed Counter-Strike. It works out to get Vendetta on the board. Problem is, with only one player surviving, you're going to immediately empty the pocketbooks and go all the way back in. So this is now the very critical round. Can you rally? Can you build around this? Can you start to put together a CT side? Or is Mythic going to run roughshot over you?
Let's say Vendetta has a chance.
They got a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. But once again, it's Pluto making the aggressive move. Consti's maybe trying to set up utility. Pluto doesn't get that kill, though.
That's a lot of damage.
That's the A1S drop-off issue coming in. He thought he had that kill. Turns out it was a 5-body shot, not a 4. So Pluto's gone. And numbers advantage for Mythic, even with that aforementioned damage.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the A4 starting to come back in a decent way here.
I was having a conversation about this over on the EU one earlier. I think the meta is either you swap to the A4 or you play A1S and AUG.
Yep. AUG's more expensive, though, which is harder to kind of sustain, right?
Which is why then you keep the A1S selected, so that when you need a slightly cheaper rifle, you get the 2900 as opposed to 31, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes sense. This is my theory crafting. This is now a good hold. This is actually playing off of each other. Problem is, Chop's got the utility, and he's not the one who can really throw it in this engagement. He's the first contact, so that could be awkward. Consti peeks with him, though. And now for Mythic. Coming on that is awkward, but even more awkward than Twice wandering into the...
Oh, no.
What is happening? Did they just forget about Chop? It's madness.
Oh,
but
Cooper!
okay, Cooper's just going to kill everybody. 4K on. He's looking for the ace. He's got 17 seconds. He's got a 1v1. Cooper could just do it all himself, putting the team on his back. He's 11-1 right now, and he's got the bomb down. And he might just be out looking at a 12th kill. All right, Cooper. The strength of his shoulders shall carry Mythic to glory. He spotted the player. He wants to fight. He's going for the shots. Reload off. Low on health. The nade's going to finish him. Goodbye, Coop.
Oh,
Denies the ace. Tender will get the defuse, and somehow, some way, Vendetta keeps these rounds stringing along.
That was another weird one, right? Because Vendetta do a pretty good job of isolating Mythic. I'm not sure why Flom had turned around in that situation, what Twice had called out, or maybe there wasn't a comm, so Flom was trying to figure out where they were shooting him from. I have no idea why that went down the way it did, but both Twice out of position throwing his util, and then Flom looking the other way, backing up when the peak was coming through. Just strange for Mythic, but then even stranger is Vendetta's not covering long, and Cooper just walks out, gets a 3K, 4 on the round, and almost the ace to clutch it out for the squad. So both teams have their issues here in that previous round. Let's see if one of them clean it up a little bit. The peak from Pluto to get one towards Fountain. 5v4. Cooper could get the trade, and he does. Man, he's always so consistent for Mythic.
He is. He's been monstrous for them this map. Difference maker for sure. Boost up here, but Hate's already below it. And so 3 of these players are going to be occupied towards B and kind of tilting at windmills right now. Twice, though, is actually going to wander to the door frame. This could be the kill to take it. The response with the panel spam could do. Slow to respond, though. Missed opportunity. Big kill to find for Chop. But Hate's going to try and wander into the angle. Flashed up. He just keeps going. That will not result very well. So this is looking like it could be a cleaner round for Vendetta until he catches the timing. Big kill for Freakazoid. Not looking clean anymore, John. We're back to a 2-on-2. 40 seconds to go. The bomb could be retrieved. This was a 4-on-2. Massive man advantage. And Cooper's got a chance at another clutch. He'll take another 4K. But hey, don't tell him he can't do it, because he's not listening.
No. He's going for this all out. 21 seconds left, so he's got to make his move soon. And he's going to make a lot of noise. Going to be heard by Chop, who will call for the reinforcements. So flank likely going to be on in just a bit, if it's even needed, because Chop is just hunkering down here, like waiting for the bomb to be planted. And there you go, freebie for him. And after all that sloppiness in the previous moments, Vendetta do clean it up and get that third round. I don't know. It's just been a very weird start to this match. Mythic looked very convincing in the first 4. I would even say 5 rounds. And then Vendetta and Mythic have both looked really weird over the last 3.
But hey, at the end of the day, they're clawing back rounds.
That's the important part for Vendetta, for sure. Especially on your CT side. You need to get at least, I would say, 9, 10.
Wow. That feels ambitious at this point. Let's just see if they can get 1 with 3 alive first.
Yes.
2 alive.
That would be nice.
So they got this mob of 3 in towards B. Waiting for the hit to come through, but they've got no dynamic space. They haven't gone for any aggression anywhere on the map, really. Their most forward player is Pluto in the bathrooms. They just got no info. You got Chop hopping for it in construction. But if he does spot them, what is that going to trigger? Is Consi going to rotate down? What's the move? About to spot. Oh, he knows players are there now. Can't keep jumping. Does that bring Consi down? I don't think he's seen enough to trigger a commitment.
Wow.
Chop takes a lot of spam damage.
And it went back the other way, too.
45 seconds. Mythic content to play with this clock a little bit. Resmoke comes in here to set up Pluto, but Pluto's just going to play close to it, which, again, with the A1S, not the biggest advantage angle anymore. Here they go. It's going to be a long hit. Good timing on the Molotov. I mean, utility's just coming out on the clock, right? Smoke fade. Freakazoid catches it. Now major pressure on Akansi. Rotation's coming through. That's Clasia trying to get up here, but doesn't have util to get back to the choke point, so he's there ahead of things. The flashbang's good. That catches Clasia, and there we go. Flom. 2 big kills. This round's over. Has to be a save from Vendetta. This is the problem with those really expensive round wins, is you've never built a bank.
Yeah, and not to mention, the only team that has had convincing round victories is Mythic. Vendetta hasn't had one. It's been messy back and forth in all 3 of those rounds they found. Now they're going to have to save or try to. Mythic, they don't want to chase too much, I don't think, because their economy's in a bit of a tough spot. But hey, look, he spots out. Oh my goodness, Mike. I thought he had tender for free in that situation.
He did.
What happened?
He did. You know, mechanical error, operator error. It happens sometimes. But the important thing here is, right, obviously it'd be better if you could take Tender's rifle out. But the loss bonus is what? 1,900? 1,400?
1,900, I believe.
1,900. All right, so they got something at least, but it's pretty putrid.
Yep.
You're going to need another round of eco. You're going to have these 2 guns to build around. Mythic have a chance to put a 7th on the board here with very little to go against them. Chop at least has a ton of util, but I just haven't... There's like the vague forming of an idea, but there's not a lot of thought in a lot of situations put around it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The intention isn't always there. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to throw this smoke, but why? What are you trying to take with that?
Yeah, that's one question I had in terms of Vendetta, is how involved Momo was in their calling, right? If he was a big piece of that, because I'm not entirely sure how they're, like you said earlier, how they're approaching that. So maybe we're seeing that come through. Maybe Momo's voice was an important one that has now been lost, and I don't know how vocal Chop in particular is. So we'll see.
I mean, especially as the new man on campus, right?
Right.
He's not exactly going to start just calling around himself, not knowing the protocols, not knowing the setups. Definitely does create a challenging situation if you lose your biggest voice. Or one of your biggest voices, certainly. And, I mean, Pluto and Momo as well have been a dynamic duo for a long time at this point. They've been playing together across different rosters. So you wind up with a lot of chemistry loss, perhaps, as site partners.
You know, I think a lot of... Oh, we'll get back.
Molotov in. Here comes the hit. Hate gets the first. Nice opener. Toxic player is the one with the rifle. Tender is the only danger, and he's down to a very low amount. And he's gone. And he's gone. And it's over. And Pluto should save his one Molotov, to be quite frank.
Yeah, probably. It's a decent investment on that CT side, so I don't know. He might try for something. I think there's a misthrown nade there by Twice, who was trying to toss it into heaven, and it just hit his teammate, but it doesn't really matter. Mythic had this one in their back pocket, and they will find themselves a 7. But what I was going to say is, it surprised me that Momo left Pluto's side because of how effective last season, 6-1. Their playoffs were bad. They were 0-2 in playoffs. They couldn't really do much at all. But still, it was a solid regular season, which we didn't expect much out of because Shake was gone. Spongy ended up leaving the team after staying just to keep it alive. And then you had Swan leaving as well. So their core was gone. They only had Pluto and Momo left. They played so well. And then Momo leaves. But you know what? The reason is, I think, money. You know, it's it's better
support.
on that EG side, right?
Support as well, right? There's a world of difference between competing in a team like Vendetta and competing in a team like EG. The opportunity for boot camps, for international competition, the opportunity to have access to a big coaching staff, to have access to a sports psychologist, to have access to the kind of training regimen, the ability to sustain yourself to play CS as opposed to, you know, figuring it out alongside everything else. You can't refuse that offer. You can't refuse that call up. Got to take those opportunities when they come, because we know in North America they do not come that often.
They don't.
Pluto's going to be critical in this round. You got Consia's first contact. That op needs to hit. It's been very quiet. He's going to have a chance at a shot. Club's going to force him out of position. Wants to stick around for a moment to see if he can get another. No, he's pushed off. So nice use of utility there for Mythic. Ice it out the AWPer. Chop now under pressure. Nade sailing his way. Flashbang so good. He's done for. That's really nice use. I mean, Mythic is looking like so much more put together on this map than Vendetta are.
It's surprising me as well because Mythic, looking at their flash stats, they're pretty low compared to what you usually expect on an ECL team, and that was a nice play. Like, that was a really well put together execution for long A, and now Flom has snuck up short A because no one's watching, and Consti gets the shot. So impressive stuff from Mythic. You're absolutely right. Definitely the more put together team here, at least here on this first map. Cooper dropping Pluto, and now a 5v2 for Mythic, just going to be a save for Vendetta. Wow.
Wow. Well, 8th round on. I will say, Overpass has been a pretty rough map for Vendetta. I think they're 1 out of 5 in their last 3 months, something like that. 20% win rate. So maybe we have more.
4 out of 5.
Sorry, what was it?
4 and 5, right? 4 wins, 5 losses. I'm gonna double check that. But yeah,
I thought it was first 5 maps on Hultava last 3 months. 1 win, 4 losses. And the win is against a team called Billionaires, which was Joel's, Marky, Zodic, Carson, and CJ playing a Cash Cup.
Huh. Strange. I'm seeing 9.
How long back did you go?
3 months.
Maybe it's because the core changed?
I don't think so. Maybe you're looking only at Challenger League seasons or something like that?
Nope. I'm looking at Overpass.
I don't know. It's really
agree
weird.
to disagree on those match stats for Overpass at the very least.
Well, I think we can agree on one thing is that they've struggled lately. They have a 3-game losing streak here. And ATK, EG, Black, and Iron Blood, both, all 3 of them taking them down. So it's been tough.
Yeah. Most certainly here. But, I mean, I think we're seeing it, right? There's just kind of not a lot of dynamic play on the CT side. It's been very flat.
Yep.
Haven't seen, obviously, the AWP hasn't really gotten anything going, which this is a map where we expect the AWP to be a feature piece, and Consi has done very little with it. Here's going to be the play out of Monster Tunnel. First player spotted. They know there's presence here. Classy does have the 1 rifle, so let's see if the hero play can work out. He's been spotted. Awkward. Deagles clear them, but that's well done. Okay, Twice and 8 playing off of each other, and it's fine. You've just got a USP and a Deag unarmored left to contend with. It's looking like a night on the board for Mythic, barring catastrophe.
Yeah, no, I don't think that catastrophe is going to come through. Constantly gets spotted here, and there you go. Cooper cleans him out. Pluto's going to come around the corner here very shortly, around walkway, and he will also be dead to rights. Harvest twice, but no, it'll be Hate picking him off. 9-3 for Mythic, and this is the Mythic we expect to see given the amount of firepower they have. And it's good to see them show up here against a Vendetta squad that probably is struggling a little bit in the calling department. There's only 3 rounds picked up. Wow. And you talked about Consti, Mike, and it's a really good point to bring up because last season Consti was right behind Pluto in terms of frags. It was 475 for Pluto and 433 for Consti. He was usually supporting Pluto in his efforts very well. And this time, in fact, both players, only 9 frags combined here in 12 rounds.
Yeah, it's been rough. And it's weird, too, because you haven't really seen a lot of feature play coming through from the AWP, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're used to seeing Overpass, the team set up the op. We had that one round where he goes for the peek outside of long, solo, gets flashed to oblivion. Otherwise, it's been a lot of shifting the op around and just trying to find angles. Now they've lost both B-side defenders through the Monster Time fight.
Oh
Goodbye, Consi. That's just a straight miss. Okay. Bombs down, round's over. Double digits for Mythic in this first half. I mean, look, we're heaping some criticism on Vendetta. I think unfairly, but let's go ahead and give some praise to Mythic as well. They are looking a lot more put together than I'm used to seeing them this season, and it's very encouraging. We're seeing, you know, the utility in sync. They're a lot more dynamic. They're decisive. When they hit something, they're hitting something. They're playing. They're comfortable letting the clock run a little bit, but not letting the clock run out. They're, you know, adjusting and reacting. It's nice play.
Absolutely. I mean, Freakazoid is going for the entries. He's finding them. He's typically their, you know, entry player who's always going to go and try to make some noise. And even when he doesn't, like you said, the follow-ups are there. We just saw in the previous round, I think it was Twice and Hate coming through and cleaning up house after Freak missed his opportunity to get the opener, but he got them the space they needed to feel comfortable moving on to the site. And their Mythic, well, they just take a 10th pretty handily. And I think it was Cooper, right, from Monster coming around and getting a nice headshot. Anyway, look.
It helps when Cooper's 17-3, too.
That doesn't hurt. A lot of that was at the right. It was at the beginning of this match, right?
119 ADR though, John. He's doing all right. They've actually got 2 players above 100 ADR. I think Hate's also clocking in somewhere north of it. So that helps.
Cooper's the one that gets the frags on this squad. I don't think that's a secret. He does a lot of damage, but I think that was front loaded. A lot of those frags, right? In those, I think he in that 1v4 basically when he got the 3K, and then the round after that he got 2 more tacked on. But you're right. I mean, he's definitely been doing a lot for Mythic here.
Clear out in con. 10 kill though. Something at least here. Add a little intrigue into the round. Unfortunately, I don't believe they can get to that gun. No, it's in con. Definitely not. No way, no how. No hurled. Ooh. Defender. Making this around. Now here we go. All right, Mythic have just been dismantled by this construction aggression. The control here for Vendetta, netting them almost certainly a 4th round at the very least. Cooper's just getting rid of guns. Time for the cleanup crew to come in. Cooper does not want them getting a freebie up. Oh, what on earth? They were both lined up for that exact peak. Cooper takes down 2. He has a race to try and get the bomb down, but he's going to take the guns away from them. Clasia manages to retrieve 1 AK, but that's it. They only take 1 AK through the round. We're into the last round, so it may not really matter in the grand scheme of things, John, but that is just disgusting from Cooper.
He's unbelievable. I think we already put him on a pedestal here at the beginning of this match, but wow, he's really strutting his stuff right now, and Twice is just spending all his money because why not? Let's just spam pistols onto the ground and have a little bit of fun here. Mythic looking for their 11th round, And Vendetta are hoping to at least salvage a 5th here, but this CT side has left a lot to be desired. Freak is giving away his position here with his util, but the flashbang, oh, a little early. Consti capitalizes on the miscue, gets the frag, and Pluto follows up onto Freak, so another man advantage here for Vendetta. Cooper could erase it if he hits this shot or has the timing right, but he does. Yes, Pluto is going to go down, and a 3v3.
Big kill for half. 1-for-1 trade there. We've got it back to the 2v2 situation. These have worked out well for Mythic in the past. Chop. Isolated on the site. Tender gets aggressive with it. I like this. A little bit more dynamic. Take some space. Take some ground. Maybe give him a chance to rotate back around. Coop. Taking point here. Coop and Twice playing together. There's the spot. Now they know, and that's a great shot. Gonna leave it all up to Tender. 1v2 on the retake. They've got util for the post as well. Aldi, smoke, flash, and Twice will just rip ahead. Why not? 11-4, and we head to the half.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. We both the same without rock bottom. Let it go, but we come back to craving problems. Am I your favorite kind of shame? Do I make you wanna?
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
And we're back here. Mythic with an absolute smackdown in the first half. Vendetta looking a little lost in a lot of their setups. Let's see if that improves here now that they're taking the initiative. I think the onus is on Vendetta here to show us some energy, even if they can't close this map, just headed into the rest of the series here, John.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say that Ancient falls in their favor, given their recent record, but definitely need to see some energy. And that's a nice shot from Freakazoid to open things up. Tender, he has his head taken clean off, and the rest of his team, well, they're going to have to watch their backs because look at the space that Freak is gaining here.
Well, and I love the difference between the pistol philosophies, right?
Yeah.
Vendetta played their CT pistol like they had Glocks. Mythic is keeping everything to the long-range fights. Not so much anymore now that I'm looking at the A-site setup. Cooper kind of playing, you know, tucked, and you got the info hops from the APC, but still, with ThCWiceSs position, it should still be strong with the USPs. And yeah, as you mentioned, Freak has an insane amount of space. He's just holding for the rotate. And they're going to come through, so he's got to activate if he's going to do it. And I'll actually withdraw. Nice shot from Flom. That's the first blood. That's what they're looking for. It's going to keep them distracted from Cooper. Cooper hasn't even revealed himself yet, and they're down to 1. So now Cooper's just going to come out and get the last kill. He wasn't even needed, really. He could have just done nothing. Could have taken his hand off the keyboard, and they would have been fine in that round.
Yeah, I think once Freak gets that kill towards the B site and takes all the space towards T spawn, Mythic can stack A site freely. 3 players were waiting there. Vendetta walked right into the crossfire and really couldn't do much of anything. And you're right, there was, at least at the beginning, a very different philosophy to their pistol round. You got to keep that range with the USPs as opposed to playing so many tight angles. And even though, yes, it got a little more in that direction towards the latter part of the round, Vendetta were literally all up close and personal, or most of them in connectors, so it was a very different setup compared to what Mythic brought to bear there. ThCWiceSs is going to toss a nade into Monster, and that will connect for a decent amount of damage. Tender waiting around the corner, goes down to 60 HP, and I would imagine he's going to come through here. Vendetta not investing much into the round, though. It's going to be a Deagle, 2 P250s, 2 Glocks, no util, no armor.
Only 2 of them. But are the Glocks going to light the way? Will be the P250s. I think I know what my money's on, John.
Right.
My money's actually on the SMGs.
Okay.
On the other side. Unarmored is raw fast against an MP9. First contact. Swing. Okay, 1 kill comes back the other way. The Glock of all things. But no more.
I just know how you like those P250 clutch predictions, Mike. That's why.
I didn't feel it here.
Okay.
I do like a P250 multi-kill, but I just wasn't feeling it here. I didn't get that inkling.
Yeah, for good reason. I mean, there wasn't much that Vendetta had to work with, especially as you mentioned, no armor on their person. So 13-4 for Mythic. 3 more rounds and we'll already be on map number 2. But Vendetta now have a chance to say something about that. It won't be the best of buys because a Galil and a Mag-10 are in the mix, but they have a strong amount of util and 3 AKs to work with. Let's see what they have in store. Similar setup to what Mythic was bringing in the early rounds on their T side with that lurk over towards B. That's Tender. And 3 players working their way into playground and 1 watching the lower tunnels. Question is, how does Mythic respond? And they're actually being pretty passive.
Cooper was about to get bottled. Didn't quite happen. A little bit of damage, though. The flames give him a little lick. Flom's going to be the big problem. You got no connector present, so Flom was a bit of free road. He did spot, and that might be a little bit of misinformation. Timing on Tender is interesting here. There's the spot. There's the shot and the drop. Hate. Just playing the angle, and Tender not quite getting the reaction in time. So now they're pretty quickly going to realize there's nothing else coming behind that. And Flom should probably turn his focus back up top, especially as he starts to hear this utility. Well, they're coming down the way. Flom still expects to get peeked wide. And that's going to be his undoing, trying to play this off angle here. Oh, and it might just be Hate. One and done. Chance for the lower side hit. Coming on through. It's about twice now. Not got the util, but from above. Freakazoid comes in. 13 seconds. They have to commit to this and well into the blender. Freak on the angle in time. 2 big kills found through. 14 on the board.
I mean, that's just that's rough for Vendetta. I think Flom, despite the fact that he went down without getting a frag, did the job. Only the MP9 in hand, and he was holding a different angle, had to flick around, and by the time he actually hit his target, just doing that much damage was impressive in and of itself. So after that, Hate gets 1, and Vendetta manages to even the numbers. Then all 3 of them choose to go in the same direction. Freak's like, okay, I will just take care of this quite handily with the A1S, and that's that. 14-4 in favor of Mythic. Vendetta come up completely dry on that first gun round, but they will have another one here at 3 AKs and 2 MAC-10s. The thing is, they sacrifice so much util, Mike, to invest in those AKs. Excuse me, 2 AKs in the Galil, but they sacrificed a lot of util.
There's someone with a MAC-10 with stat track that only says 74 on it. That must be a new skin for them. A freshie.
He's not playing.
Aha! Cooper. Taking out a play. The absolute monster of the other side. I think it might be his first death this half.
Possibly, yes. I think it is.
So, alright, Tender. 1v2. Best opportunity you had in a while. Take 3K to finish this, but they're isolated, right? This is doable. The fights are basically going to be one-on-one. Hate's taking a long time to rotate over. Clearing out, making sure he can't back away. So, respecting that, Twice is playing pretty passive here.
Yeah. I think once
Wait
Twice
for the
gets
tap.
the audio cue, then, exactly, then, you know, it can be a full-on...
Or, unless... Who needs an audio cue?
Yeah, just go around the corner and get the dry fight. Wow. Mythic's been playing really well. 15-4 in their favor. Cooper has been incredible, but we can't forget the supporting cast. Everyone else has been really solid for Mythic too.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's been good across the board.
Yeah.
They've been dominating here on Overpass, and they're continuing to do so. Now, I mean, this is the first time the Ops been out this half. So, why not? Only had 4 rounds. Here's the 5th. Freakazoid looking to close this and put it to bed pretty quick. That was a bold spot to hold.
Yes, it was.
That was ambitious. Just really trusting that the playground player was going to peek first. But okay. No, it's worked out for an advantage for Vendetta as they look to find some last gasps here on this map. They're going to slow it down. They're going to rotate.
And what makes things a little tougher for Mythic as well is because those 2 players go down, Cooper's isolated in connector with the op. So if Vendetta had continued pushing there, they probably could have traded him out and taken full control of this round. Instead, well, Cooper still being alive is always scary, especially the way he's playing here on Overpass right now.
Oh, Cooper with the drop. Cooper with the shot. That's the bomb. Confirmed as well. So a lot of information. Do they really want to try and chase this down? Double smokes. That's going to pin them in. They're going to back away. 40 seconds. There's still time for this rotate. But it's going to be ambitious. The thing is, though, Mythic have no one up top. They have to realize this pretty quickly. They've gone for a poke through the smoke, I think. They're going to play this smoke fade. And then they'll send players careening up if they don't see anyone. And, yep, no one's here. You better go quick. They're not going to be there in time. They won't beat them to it. They will not beat them to it. Site's going to be lost. Bomb's going to go down. There's time enough for Vendetta here, so it's going to come down to the retake. Oh, no. They're planning on the wrong side. Coop. 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 Check it, Coop. Coop. Oh, he's got it all. 26th kill. We might just have 20 rounds in this, but we got 26 kills for Coop. He can't quite get the last. But it's Glacia out in the open, down into the 1v1. 22 seconds dancing around Dice, reloading his gun, just trying to keep his team in it, just trying to keep them alive, and he can do no such thing. 16-4, it's domination station from Mythic. Oh my goodness, John.
I did not expect such a dominant victory from Mythic. In fact, from either side. I thought Overpass was going to be a brawl, but wow, Mythic brought everything to this match, and Cooper in particular finishing with 26 frags, a 3K there. Like I said, if Vendetta had just continued going forward towards Connector, they could have gotten the trade pretty easily against Cooper. I mean, Cooper's pretty solid. He's been so good. Maybe he would have gotten 2, but they would have been